I have to move this. Let's try that again. Oh boy, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Try that again. Oh boy, sometimes. Okay, I was trying to get rid of this banner because it's in the way of comments. So I guess I'll have to figure that out later. In the meantime, today is day 3 of 100 Days to Brave. So, um, well, maybe that'll do it. I'm not sure. I want to see comments. So, anyway, we are going to get started and see what happens. Um, hopefully, the comments will show up. I don't like where this banner is, but I can't fix it right now. So, even I have issues. So, it'll be all right. So, today is 100 Days to Brave. Now, since I've been coming out here and doing this, I'm actually getting caught up on my work, which is fascinating because I was really behind. And now I'm not. So I'm catching up. So we'll see. Um, the other day when we were done, I started dotting animals again. And this is Peaches, my 11-year-old Sheltie. It's not finished, but it's a good start. So I hope you all are enjoying this 100 Days to Brave series. I know I am. It's getting me out of my own head and getting me out of my own way. And that's always good. So today's lesson is You Are Braver Than You Know. So Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. I hope I'm saying that right. That first number always trumps messes me up. Whether you turn to the right or turn to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Have you ever had that happen? I have. So, in October 2007, Annie, because this is her book, started to feel something unsettled in her spirit. That's the best way she can describe it. After weeks of this weird feeling, she felt like she had to really pray and ask God to direct her. She sensed she was supposed to make a change, but she just didn't know what the change was. So she asked God, and her heart kept hearing that it was time for her to move to Nashville. And after a few months of wrestling, she did it. She cried the entire drive, 3.5 hours. Now she knows she wasn't leaving for a town halfway around the world yet, but this Georgia girl would be moving farther away from home than she ever dreamed. Friend, you need to know this. She never felt brave. She never had a moment of extreme courage or belief that this was going to be the best decision she had ever made. She just did the next thing. She quit her job, sold her house, packed her belongings, pointed north until, excuse me, she crossed the state line and didn't stop until she saw the trademark of the Nashville skyline, the Batman building. She won't bore us with the stories of the weeping and the gnashing of teeth that occurred for the first weeks, okay, fine, months after she moved, but it was terrible, painful, and lonely. Can I say that again? I never felt brave. But day after day, she just did the next thing, took the next step, said the next yes. And God built a life for her in Nashville that she could not have dreamed up for herself. She may not have felt brave, but she was taking brave steps in obedience to God. If you and she sat down and you told her your story, she would be able to show you places where you made brave choices, even if you don't label them that way. You're probably already doing more than you realize. You are braver than you know. So I could read this in first person, but I'm not Annie. So I think third person works. You all let me know. So the lesson today is be brave. Think back on your life, journal about 2 or 3 moments you or someone else might label as brave. Do you have times in your life that you that you were brave, or somebody said you were brave, even if you didn't feel it in your core? Um, do you have that? I think mine would be picking up my family and moving across country. We did that twice, 3 times actually. Hey, Despina, glad you're here. We all have to take a leap of faith, I think. Um, for your story, you've had a lot going on, and I bet you don't feel brave, but you have to be for you and Sophia. Um, I wasn't like fanatically overjoyed with leaving home, leaving Chicago, leaving my family, but I needed to um, for my soul and my mentality mental health to be okay. I had to go. It was rough. My dad, my mom, aunts, aunt, uncle, size family, all up north. But we took a leap. And it was probably the bravest thing we ever done. I learned a lot about myself and our family along the way, and I met people that have become family, even though they're not genetically related. And I've gotten closer to other family that um, maybe if things would have been different, we would have moved to St. Louis, and then my kids would have grown up with their cousins. I don't know. I can't go back. Uh, Regardless, it is what it is. But now I've got my children moving away, and I've got one in Dallas, and the other two are at home still, or near home, but who knows where they'll end up. They'll probably be like me, but maybe not. I don't know. I have no idea what my kids are going to do. Sorry, drinking my breakfast. Miranda wants us to land in Texas, but that has never been on my radar. So I don't know how that's going to work. So this is kind of still wet, even though it was 3 days ago. This was day 2, and it's still, you can see the sand. That's the texture I put on it, but see this line right here? It's still wet. So that'll be interesting trying to play today. Well, it is what it is. We're gonna just let it do its thing. That was day 2. This was day 1, which was our anxieties, and we created a butterfly. These butterflies mean peace, usually. They're a symbol for a lot of stuff. But so today is how have you been brave? 2 or 3 moments in your life where you or someone else might have labeled brave. What would that look like to you? Would that be a move? Would that be a death? Would that be taking the bull by the horns? Would that be angering family because you're doing what you got to do? The thing about life that I've learned over the years in my 50 years of life is we have to do for us. We have one life to live. And we have to do what makes us happy. Yesterday and Friday, I was not live because I was spending the days with my husband, which we finally get to do, which is interesting because sometimes people grow apart. But now that our kids are grown and like they're on vacation right now with each other, but Sai and I are learning each other all over again, which is weird, but we're happy to be doing life with each other. So that's what we did yesterday. I'm still trying to find my damn crayons, and I don't know where they are. But something is wet out here. I'm very ticked off. Like we did all of the work ourselves in here, but I think water's getting in, and I don't know where. And I'm not happy about it at all. It makes me have to want to call the company and be like, "Oh, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem." So, I'm just sharpening my pencil here, and what are write down in your journal, like you can share with the class, or you can just write it down for your own peace of mind. What's two or three things where you took that leap of faith, where you took that um, message from God and ran with it? What did you do? I know a few things that I did, but what did you do? And it can be anything. It can be letting people go for a better self. It's amazing. I've let some people go and some things go, and I'm sleeping better. Who knew that's what it took? So, um, mine would be moving. Oh boy, my pencil did not sharpen. It actually broke the lead. Oh, that's not gonna work. So we'll use pen. Moving. Letting go. And that's letting go of drama. That's letting go of people. That's letting go of toxic. That's just letting go. Letting go of what bothers you. What does not bring you peace, you let it go. Right? Um, let's see. I'm going to see if that works. It's probably going to lay down. Yep. I don't know what this problem is. And go. Um, Getting help. Getting help for yourself. And that's therapist, AA, NA, um, lots of stuff that could be. Writing letters, even if you don't send them, you writing letters to those that have hurt you. The therapist told me to do that, and I have done it. Does it hurt? Yes. Does it make you feel better? Yes. So, I mean, realistically, it does help you heal. It's just getting to that point where you can do it, actually. I wrote a letter to my dad. My dad and I had a very interesting relationship. Some days were really good, and others were not. Mm. So self-help. Scared of change. Taking a leap. I did that when I opened my business 3.5 years ago. No, 3 years ago. 3 years ago in a couple months, I did that. I took a leap. That was pretty brave. Going back to work after so many years of not being there, that's brave. That's huge. Oh, you're a dead marker. We'll find out what markers work and markers don't work anymore. So there's a lot. Going back to work, moving, opening a business, letting the change happen, letting go, self-help. I mean, there's a gazillion things as to why you are a braver person. But we're just talking about 2 or 3. So for me, it's letting go. We moved years ago. I mean, we've been in Florida 16 years minus 11 months when we went back to Chicago, and then we just came right back because that wasn't the place we needed to be. And it took that move to figure that out, but it's okay now. I don't do winter ever. Never, ever, ever again. My kids, on the other hand, they seem to like winter. Well, they weren't pregnant and it was 30 below, and then a blizzard shows up and you have to drive in it and get worried. And I'm good. I see my share of snow. So take your 2 or 3 things. For me, it was opening a business, getting back into the workforce. I did something last week that I never thought I would do, and that was, besides this helping me, this was a leap of faith, sharing with you how to be brave, and in the same time, me being brave, or learning to be braver. I call them new mental health facility because even after 8 years with my therapist, it's time to move on. I can't keep getting canceled on. That doesn't work. So even though I learned to cope with stuff that's going on in my life, what's the point of having a therapist if you can't see her? So that was my change last week. And I'm all for mental health. I'm all for therapy. I'm all for making yourself feel better. I'm all for getting yourself off the ledge. You ever feel like you're on the ledge, you call me. I'll talk you down. So we're going to work on what does being braver, taking that leap of faith, even if somebody told you you were braver and you didn't feel it, but by God, you were. What did that look like to you? I probably should have done the beach for this today, but what would that look like for you? Would it look like new friends, a new church, a new place to live? What does your 2-3 acts that you've done in the course of your life that made you braver, or that took bravery to do. That's another one. What did that look like for you? So I think we're gonna take a field trip after this to Michael's so I can get some more crayons, because I don't know where mine are and I'm really bummed. I thought I would find them by now, but I don't even know where to look. I think I might have taken them somewhere. Honestly. Nope, that's not them. I think they're in a bag, actually. So, I guess, no. I don't want to do that. I just grabbed my watercolors. I don't want to do watercolors. So, I guess we'll do pastels today. Pastels or chalk, oil, water. I don't remember what these are. These are old as dirt. I think I had these in art school. So I think I'm just going to do maybe an abstract, because you know a lot of things happen in life. So take, you know, a few different favorite colors and do your background. And it doesn't have to be that's why I like these, because you can play with them. It's like chalk, but not chalk. But then I just made orange and purple. So it's just playing with chalk, basically. That's what these are. And then I could use my finger, but I don't want to get all that dirty today. So I'm using a paper towel to smooth them out. And then you just move the paper towel around so you don't land with big blotches of dark. And then I just blew the X. Oh, when did you die? You poor baby. Honey, that lizard. I saw him 2 days ago. I tried to rescue him. It didn't work. I didn't know where he went. And I just found him. The nice thing about pastels, besides that pretty work of art, is they wash off quite easily off your hands. And you can make them as dark as you want or as light as you want. So there's my background somewhat. Again, your journal doesn't have to be huge. This is like a 5x7 spiral bound. I'm gonna have to bury you. I don't know how that happened. He must have got squished. I don't know. They just came on my desk to die, so he knew I would take care of him. I'll go bury him in some plants, fertilizer, and good place for him to be. So there's that. So now I think I will do some little paint with just uh, a liner brush. So if you have a liner, I suggest you have a liner, a flat, and this is not booze, it's water. It's in a Grey Goose vodka bottle. My husband's like, where are you taking that? I'm going to fill it with water from my shed. And that's what I did. I did a little housekeeping today. So, you know, your brushes, people ask what brushes. So, a liner is good. A filbert, a big filbert, a little filbert, a flat one, an angle one if you feel up to it. I like the angles. A flat brush. But you know, you can play too. Michaels has all kinds of neat brushes and whatnot. And then, you know, palette knife set from when we do those stuff. And you can do plastic or metal. And then, of course, daughters, because we do a lot of dotting. And those come from either, you can get them at Sally Beauty Supply, you can get them at Ulta, you can get them at Michael's, or you can get them from Amazon. And if you want the link, I will give you that. Oh, toothbrush for when we do splatter art. So for now, I'm just going to make a butterfly and maybe a dragonfly and starfish, maybe a dolphin. Just depends. But I need some dark blue. And you could draw this too. I can't find my pencils or my crayons, so that's gonna have to wait. I'm very bummed because I have an entire set and I don't know where it is. And the only thing I can think of where it might be is I took it on vacation, but now it's trying to figure out where it went when we got home. So there's some red. Well, I have not gotten my nails done in a while. I guess now I got them done. There's some ultramarine blue. And you could go mixed media, which we're already doing. So the pastels are like chalk, and then paint if you want, or you could do markers. Do markers too. We could do hodgepodge, but I have to get a book of words or quotes or something. So maybe collect your magazines and see. So I'm just going over the chalk. Your butterfly, remember, is a backwards and forwards B. Letter B. It's the easiest way to make a butterfly. because your bottom curves are much bigger. I don't like people to be far away. And then I just went in some aquamarine with the blue. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Color Shift Purple. And just do the innards. Again, not rinsing my brush. So a butterfly could be your brave symbol. It does mean hope. It is a symbol for all over the place, for many different things. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it literally is a backwards B and a forwards B with a line-like thing in the middle. And it's your journal, so you do what you want. I'm gonna take just a pencil. Sorry, I put my pencils down somewhere. Since I can't find my crayons, I'm just going to break out my pencils. And I think I'm just going to make like a rainbow over here. And that's sort of just in with already color from the pastels. I'm not going to do dots today. I'm just kind of going with the flow, guys. You do what you want to do. I've got some pearl white, which will go right over. Maybe you did doodling in school. Did you doodle in school? This is sort of like doodling. I always doodle. The nuns got so mad. Adrian, put your book away. No. I don't like math. I always got in trouble. Thank you. To me, it was we were coming across the rainbow, like into Florida, and the rainbows down here are spectacular after it rains. I mean, even though the bottom drops, like the bottom falls out, still gorgeous. So let's see if this works. See, these are the watercolor pencils. I'm just going with the flow. If you are like an actual artist, forgive me. But I don't want this to be hard. I just want you guys to get creative. Get your creative juices flowing. Whatever floats your boat. If this floats your boat, then that's good. If this helps you be creative, even better. So these pencils are great because they're watercolor pencils. So we have a lot of mixed media going on here. We have paint with pastels first, and then we have paint. And then we have watercolor pencils that you add water to, and then they do what, then they take on a different life. And maybe peace for you is a cross. Signifies a lot of things. God, Jesus, peace. And maybe you do your own God, and that's okay. You do you. Everybody has to find their own way. They have to have their own way. So I added, I did some pearl. Now you can do pearl white, or you can just get the medium, which they sell. It's an iridescent medium. So basically today we're doing symbols. I might wrap an entire house around this thing. I might rip it out and cut it up. And draw a house or a couple houses. Again, you do you. Since my pencil broke, I'm just gonna break off some charcoal. And Mom found all of these pieces for me. And maybe that's my beach house. One day. Somebody asked on Facebook, if you won $100 million, what would you do? And you couldn't pay bills at all. So what would you do? I said I would buy a beach house. And then I'd buy a car for my husband. And then I'd probably buy another one for my aunt. Or my mother, sorry. And then I'd probably buy one for my aunt. And maybe a few other people. But I'd buy a couple vacation homes, that's for sure. Alrighty. Well, ripping it is, because I don't know where my scissors are. I'm not this out of sorts. People come in my shed, especially my husband, and they take my scissors. And they say, I'll bring it back. And they don't. So, Lord knows where my scissors is. It's usually right here. I even have a hook for it. And he'll say, you know you put it somewhere. That's why you can't find it. Nope. It did, however, find my screwdriver. It's okay. I just don't want to mess up my butter. So this is sort of mixed media. All on its own. I don't really know. Well, the houses, you know, I hope that someday I live near my kids. But who knows? So they just rip pretty easily. Though I'm getting stuff all over my hands. And I will say this, so you can use glue. I have Mod Podge. And then I have a brush that's gross and disgusting and very thick and hard that I use for. Hi, Marion. No worries, you're here. That I use for just this. It's already hard as a rock from. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm making a mess today. You can also use Elmer's glue. That's all you have. That works too. This will dry clear. That's the nice thing about Mod Podge. So do you. What are your braves? What is your symbols? What makes you happy now? When you became brave, or when you took a leap of faith, when you became brave, um, where did you land? What did you do? Is That's the lesson. You can do stickers too. You can do paper. So up on a hill in Pensacola Beach, we have a big cross that hangs out on a hill. I don't know who put it there, but it's kind of a symbol of hope when we drive down there, or you need it, we go down there and you look at it. There's all kinds of big churches on the way down to Florida and Alabama. I mean, crosses. There's one. It's a ginormous. So that brush goes back in water. It doesn't really do anything for it. It's still hard as a rock. But I'm gonna see if I can't paint this a little. Give it. I know I'm painting over the Mod Podge. That's okay. This brush I will go and put in soap and water to get the glue out. So you can do your art first, and then take your symbols and put them over top. Okay? I always stumble back onto Florida. I don't know why. Like, these are sort of like the houses down along the coast that are different colors of pretty colors, tropical colors, even though they're um, even though we're not in Miami, you know. I really should have done the beach for today, but what comes to mind too is not just the houses at the beach, but is having homes together, like it's like a little your own little town, your own little courtyard with your friends or your family, and you just protect each other. That's sort of what I think about when I think of this. You know, the leap of faith was not just leaving home, but it was going into the unknown. We knew one person in this town, and that was my cousin at the time, who doesn't live here anymore. But that's who we knew. And then she moved away. And then we got new friends. It was fine. They were our new family. Um, but it was difficult. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. because it really was difficult. And right now, this looks like a big, ginormous mess. But it'll get there. So we changed our roof color after Sally got up close and personal with us 2 years ago. Took a while, but we got a new roof finally. Yeah, hurricanes. They get up close and personal with you. I was a little freaked out. Just a little. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And one day I will teach you all the art of palette work, palette knife work. Maybe as we go further on this book. You guys like this book? So you now go left to right when you're painting. Butterflies also are a representation of pain disorders like fibromyalgia or chronic pain that I suffer from and many I know suffer from. That's what the butterfly also represents. Again, I don't do church. Some people might disagree with me, but for the most part, people leave me alone. One of my daughters does church, and that's fine. She found a new church where she feels like she belongs, and that's good. I have not found that place yet. I don't know if I will. I had a good place. At one time, we had a good church, but our pastor left. And then they got this new person, and I did not like her at all. It doesn't look great right now, but it will. Um, I'm gonna add 2 doors. I'm gonna try to do it with permanent marker. As long as the paint is somewhat dry, it will write over. So after you've written down what you did, self-help, change, leap of faith, going back to work, moving, letting go, opening a business. Do you feel at peace now that happened? Too late. Or are you still working through it? You know, and if you know others that need help like this or whatever, or you can always sprinkle this video to your page with the button at the bottom. I can't say the word because Facebook gets mad. Did I say that out loud? So family, peace, friends, love. That's sort of where I'm at. Sleep. When you let go of your demons, or you let go of toxic, you get sleep. It's quite amazing. I haven't had nightmares in probably a week. And I was having them every night of the week. And I haven't had one in a week. Because I let something go that needed to go. So. Show me yours. When you're done. So, you know, it's whatever. It doesn't look great, but it's where I'm at, you know. This represents 3 homes. Maybe it represents my kids. Maybe it represents a community. Who knows? Then we have a rainbow that our rainbows come out after we get a good rain. Butterfly means hope and peace, happiness. What does butterfly mean to you? The cross, um, having God in your life, whether that's everybody's God or your own. Family, peace, friends, love, and sleep. That's mine. And for all that to happen, you have to have this. So that's what we worked on today. What are 2 or 3 things that made you brave? That by doing them, you became brave. No, you write it in your journal. It's just for you. You write it in your journal, and then you create art over it or on a different page. So that's what we did today. So your feelings are just for you. Your whatever is just for you. So if you want to share, like with your therapist or what you're working on, that's good. But it's not necessary to share here. It's really just for you. So we are at an hour and 5 minutes. So I'm going to let you all go. But again, you know, later on I might take a field trip to Michael's if it doesn't rain, and I will show you some different materials that I use, and that's where you can find them, or your local craft store or what have you. So I hope this is helping everybody, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel, for 100 Days to Brave, Day 4. So thank you all so much for being here. Have a blessed day.